In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, YouTube. I'm Dan Salem, live on BuzzChomp channel, here to talk the NFL sports and specifically NFL injuries today. But before I dive into the meat of what's left of these teams 2 weeks prior to the season, let me go live on Facebook. Now that I'm officially live, I accidentally hit record at first, but you didn't know that. I'm just sharing. All right, and we're live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, Facebook. I'm Dan Salem, live at the Dan Salem on Facebook mentions and Facebook itself. Also live on YouTube, BuzzChomp channel. I'm here to talk the NFL sports, NFL injuries this week, because the NFL season, the 2017 NFL season, kicks off in just about a week and a half. Next Thursday, the NFL will begin. I am drafting for my fantasy team Monday, which is Labor Day. It's like the last possible day you could do it. No one could agree on a time, but damn, I'm not excited for the season to kick off Thursday night. Now, personally, my team, of course, the New York Jets, everyone deals with injuries. There's been a couple. One big one last month. But my team was already going to stink, so they don't hurt quite as hard as, say, the New England Patriots, who lost Julian Edelman for the entire season with a torn ACL. That's rough. So that's one of the biggest NFL injuries there are. I'm going to tweet this sucker out from my personal @DanSalem Twitter account. Then I'm going to retweet it on BuzzChomp with an extra Z, so then everyone can share the love, and then we'll dive into these NFL injuries. Oh, tweet, tweet, tweet. The little bird. Can you hear the little bird? That's a tweet, tweet, tweet. I'm tweeting it up. There's the little birdie. And now let's go do the retweet action so that we get a little extra birdie action going. Oh, yeah. Ignore the old cookie picture. 2 weeks ago, I talked about NFL playoffs. Had a nice birthday last week. Was in Martha's Vineyard on a nice vacation. I'm back. I'm energized. And I'm ready for this NFL season. Hopefully you are too. Hopefully you're not too sad because your team lost one of its best players. As a New York Jets fan, we lost Quincy Enunwa, our best wide receiver, several weeks ago. And, you know, you move on. It gives other guys an opportunity, the guys we haven't seen play yet, to step up. The New England Patriots are in a very similar position, having lost Julian Edelman with a torn ACL, his right ACL. He'll be done for the entire year. That really hurts. He was a Mr. Reliable for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's all about trust with his wide receivers and his offense. So yes, they brought in someone new. Who they bring in? Oh, Brandon Cooks. So yes, they brought in a new wide receiver. But they haven't played together yet. So the trust isn't really built yet. Yeah, they worked together the offseason. But real games haven't taken place. So you can't replace what Edelman and Tom Brady had. Now, that offense is really powerful. They're going to be okay. But they're not going to be nearly as dynamic as if they had Julian Edelman. I mean, it's just simple. He's excellent. It's not going to be as good. Yes, they have Amendola and Hogan and Brandon Cooks and Malcolm Mitchell. But they're not as good without Edelman. And that's a real shame if you're a fan of the Patriots. I am not. So we both lost our best wide receiver. C'est la vie. We do what we must do. Another AFC East injury, which, this one's tough. The Buffalo Bills had a lot of potential, right? And then they traded their best wide receiver and best cornerbacks and kind of said, look, we're not going to win it this year. Let's not. They didn't officially wave a flag, white flag, but they were building assets for this monster draft coming up, correct? So, now Tyrod Taylor has suffered a concussion. That is difficult because concussions, they can drag out. You know, like concussions are the type of thing that you can get over it in a week, or you can get over it in like 2 months, and one big hit and he's right back on the sideline. That's tough because Tyrod, they just signed him to a new contract. And he's a good player. He was very good for Buffalo last year. And the only person behind him at the moment, unless they bring in a Colin Kaepernick, who is still available, is a rookie named Nathan Peterman, who they drafted in the 5th round. He played for Pittsburgh, the college. He's a rookie. So, there's Tyrod Taylor with a concussion, and then a 5th round rookie quarterback. Now, as the New York Jets and a fan of the New York Jets, I am, yes, okay, the division competition, again, hampered. That's good. But that sucks for Tyrod Taylor. I liked him as a player. I would have been targeting him in fantasy as a sleeper, and not with this concussion scares me. I mean, who knows how long it's going to take him. He's more susceptible to another concussion after receiving the first one. Buffalo's going to have to do something at quarterback. I cannot imagine their 5th round pick is ready to play. Hell, the Jets' 2nd round pick is not ready to play. They gave the job to Josh McCown. So, Nathan Peterman, good luck. You will be backing up someone else if Tyrod is not ready to go. Also in the AFC, a team that I thought was probably going to take a step back this year, and now without their starting running back, very likely since they also traded their best wide receiver, Kansas City Chiefs. Spencer Ware, torn PCL in his knee. He's out for the year. There was initial optimism, but he's going to get season-ending surgery. That hurts for his fantasy owners, sure. Someone's at the door, so probably just a package. I will wait and see if they knock again. If they don't, I'm going to continue. And that really hurts the Chiefs. They need the running game. Alex Smith is an okay quarterback. He's not great. He's good. He doesn't make mistakes, but he doesn't, blow you out of the water, right? So he doesn't make mistakes, and therefore he needs something else to balance out his decentness, because he's not going to be amazing, but he won't make the mistakes. Therefore, ball control. They need a strong running game. Now, yes, there is rookie Kareem Hunt, who's a 3rd round draft pick. He's going to be the starter in Kansas City, and Kansas City's had a good, solid offensive line. They've had good running backs season after season. Therefore, there's a good chance that Kareem Hunt could be excellent, and I'm going to try to grab him in my fantasy football draft because he was the 3rd round pick. He's a little bit of a sleeper, but if he's starting for Kansas City, he's got a real shot to blow up. So you want to steal him from a fantasy perspective. But from a real life perspective, 3rd round rookie running back now taking over the reins on offense. Alex Smith is really shortchanged with his weapons as far as we can tell from the outside looking in. I mean, that division, Kansas City, Oakland, Denver, San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers, is wide open. It's going to take me a little bit to get around that. I know I live in LA, but until I start rooting for the Chargers this year, it's hard to wrap my head around the fact that they have moved up the coast. Okay. Spencer Ware done for the year. That really hurts Kansas City. It's hard to say because Kareem Hunt could really come in and step up and play well, but that's got to cost them at least a win. And in a tight AFC West with Oakland, a tight AFC because I think Pittsburgh, well, I don't know. I was really high on Baltimore, but we'll get to them in a minute because they've had a ton of injuries. And that's just a real shame. I think they lost 10 guys for the year in the last 2 months, which is an insane number of players. I mean, if they overcome that to make the playoffs, hell yeah, Baltimore. But Kansas City's got its work cut out for them with losing their top running back. Back to my New York Jets. Bryce Petty, backup quarterback, is injured. He's fine. He's not quite practicing yet. I don't think he'll play in the last preseason game, but he'll be ready for week 1. He's the backup. Presumably third string. Petty's decent. He makes some solid plays and makes you go wow every once in a while, but he's so green. He just makes those mistakes too. McCown's the starter for New York, so that's kind of a positive news. He's not going to miss much time. Also, little impact to a subpar football team. And the Dallas Cowboys, another big favorite. So New England Patriots, a favorite in the AFC, obviously. Lost one of their top wide receivers, if not their top wide receiver. Kansas City Chiefs, an AFC favorite because they were really good the last 2 years, lost their running back. Big hits, big hits. Dallas Cowboys, major favorite in the NFC. They have lost their linebacker, Anthony Hitchens, for at least 8 weeks. That's 2 months of the year. That's tough because that defense was the weak link on that team, and now they've just lost another piece. Dallas is going to have a truly steep hill to climb, especially week 1 against the Giants, with a hobbled defense and likely losing Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, if he's appealed his suspension, so if he gets the appeal, maybe he doesn't miss any time this year. But they might just reduce it. It's going to be a month. I think they'll knock it down from 6 to 4. A month seems about right. So they're still going to miss him. The Cowboys are going to, they really need to like hold the ship, and that's going to be a tough task. They're going to lose a game or two that they would have otherwise won, missing this linebacker and obviously Ezekiel. To another NFC team with little aspirations, the Chicago Bears. Some people seem to think the Bears may surprise us. They were awful last year. Awful. And they're starting a rookie quarterback. The odds of them being anything better than 8-8 are very low. I mean, I think they'll be better than last season, but that's not saying much when they won, I think, 3 games. Maybe they win 4 or 5. They're still pretty crappy. So they lost the wide receiver, Cameron Meredith. That's tough because you need weapons, especially as a rookie quarterback. You need people you can learn to rely on, and there's no report yet on his diagnosis, but they put a cast on it right away. I have a feeling it's serious. He's probably gone for the season, and that's tough because he was their leading receiver last year, and now their rookie quarterback who do they have? I don't know. Probably a decent running game if the offensive line holds up. That's a shame. Lots of week 1 and week 2 injuries. Odell Beckham Jr. got hurt, but his ankle injury is not serious. He's still sitting out. Washington Redskins lost a safety. Lions lost a wide receiver, TJ Jones. These guys are out, but they're likely to come back. Bengals and Bills, more injuries. But so, out for the year, because these are the biggies. Another AFC East. I mean, like I said, I wish no ill upon any team. But anything that gives my Jets a leg up is a positive in my book. The Miami Dolphins lost their linebacker, Raekwon McMillan, for the year. Torn ACL. All these ACL knee injuries, I mean, so common. Almost every one of these out for the year players, torn ACL or a torn MCL. Only one of them hurt his Achilles. I mean, it's so much knee injuries, and they take the season to recover because you need surgery. It's a real shame. But the Dolphins defense hobbled with Jay Cutler on offense. Now, Cutler could be great, but I don't trust Jay Cutler. I do not trust Jay Cutler. He's not Ryan Tannehill, not by a long shot. They do have weapons, but if they can't stop anybody, it's going to be a real tough road for the Dolphins back to the playoffs. Redskins also lost a linebacker for the year, Trent Murphy. Broncos lost D lineman Dilly Wynn. The Vikings lost their running back Bishop Sankey, which is a shame. They're trying to get someone that can really step up and fill in for the Adrian Peterson. He moved on. But a lot of teams really operate well with a running back by committee. Split the load between 2 guys, and Sankey was in line for a good portion of that split, and he's gone for the year with a torn ACL. Detroit Lions lost the lineman, defensive lineman Kerry Hyder, and the Seahawks lost the left tackle George Fant, which these offensive and defensive line injuries kind of get swept under the rug because they're not flashy players to begin with, but Seattle offensive linemen, that hurts big time because your offensive line is critical to your offensive success, and they've lost them. All right, well, that was quite the negative conversation because we're talking injuries, but it's got to be said because this is the preseason and these teams have lost major people. Now, the one thing we can say is there are a lot of AFC East injuries, but the Patriots are still going to win the AFC East, barring some other injury I cannot foresee and do not want to even verbalize because that would just be a real shame. I don't think that the Dolphins and the Bills will be great. They're still likely going to be better than the Jets. But with their injuries, the field slightly narrows, especially if Tyrod Taylor misses significant time with his concussion. That kind of brings Buffalo more down to the Jets level. People are really down on the Jets, like really down on the Jets. It's because they're playing a lot of young guys, and until those guys actually see the field, like for 1 to 2 weeks, we don't know what they can do as a unit. Sure, you get the preseason, but the preseason is made to tell lies and trick you into thinking something's not what it is. Basically, 100% what it is. Just trying to play the guys that need extra work and work some kinks out. You're not showing your hand. The best people show nothing. So, I don't believe it. Don't believe it. So, but that division has not been majorly affected. So, like I said, the AFC North maybe have been the most affected by injury because, yeah, maybe Cincinnati bounces back, but they're not on Pittsburgh or Baltimore's level, in my opinion. That was until Baltimore lost 10 players for the season, all out for the year with injury. Now, that includes special teamers and people that were not necessarily first string, but still, that is a monster number of injuries. Definitely a couple major hits to their defense, which was going to be the strong point. Don't know how strong Joe Flacco is. I mean, he's not like out, so, but he had a back injury. That hurts too. I still think Baltimore will be okay. I think that they're might be behind Pittsburgh now. I originally thought that they could beat Pittsburgh for the division, but with all of the injuries, they may be number 2. And then, like I said, in the AFC West, Kansas City definitely hurt by the loss of their running back. The NFC playoff picture doesn't change too much. The Giants have lost a couple guys, the Cowboys. It's just those big name injuries. They really hurt. They really hit home. That this league, it's fleeting. You know, within an instant, you lose one of your best players. So I'm over now on sportsnaut.com. Kind of a cool name. 20 most devastating injuries. Yeah, we already talked about the Cowboys linebacker. The LA Chargers lost an offensive guard. Again, I said offensive lineman. Linchpin, that really hurts. Redskins lost their linebacker. Seahawks lost their left tackle. Again, offensive line. These are not flashy names, so I'm not even going to mention their names because you're not going to know who they are. I don't know who they are, but if it's a lineman on offense, oh brother, because that's who prevents sacks. That's who blocks for it. I mean, you know what the offensive line does. You need a strong offensive line. The Jets return a reasonably strong offensive line. Well, if the Jets' offensive line gels like I wanted them to, they're going to be decent because they got good running backs and they can protect the quarterback. That's the key. If your offensive line stinks, it really doesn't matter how good your quarterback, running back, or receivers are because they will not get the ball in their hands. Quincy Enunwa, we know because I'm a Jets fan. Linebacker for the Browns went out for the year. Defensive end for the Patriots. Ooh, they took a hit on defense too. And yes, like I mentioned, the Baltimore Ravens, they lost 2 offensive guards for the season. I mean, who's going to protect Joe Flacco? I don't know. We'll find out if they can still be good with the loss of so many key players. Dolphins lost a linebacker. Bears lost their wide receiver, which we talked about. LA Rams lost a defensive tackle, and then we know Ryan Tannehill for the Dolphins because we mentioned Jay Cutler is back, unretired. He's pulling a Brett Favre. Anybody else? Oh yeah, it's kind of like very low key. Andrew Luck is injured right now. He's out, and this website describes it as fascinating towards disturbing. Because he had a shoulder injury at the beginning of 2015. For those who are short on math, that is 2 full years ago. And he played through it for 2 full years and got other injuries in the process. Now, the Colts have made some mistakes with Andrew Luck because Andrew Luck is awesome. But he played through injury. And he has not been practicing yet this year. The coach, Chuck Pagano of the Colts, has yet to see Andrew Luck throw a single pass. So that tells you all you need to know. He's not going to be ready for week 1. How long is he going to be out? for those of you who thought Indy maybe had a shot, they're without Andrew Luck. No. Tennessee, Houston, it's their division. No. Andrew Luck. Injured. No. Sorry, fantasy owners. Don't count on him. He's hurt. They're letting him rehab so he can actually have a good career for the rest of his career and not just throw up duck picks because he has an injured shoulder he's not talking about. Whew. Injuries, baby. Injuries. So, my New York Jets, they had a fun game with the New York Giants preseason. It's preseason, blah, 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 blah. But I'm excited. I think it's fun when a bunch of rookies, second-year players, young guys, get an opportunity. Because you learn some new names. Eventually, every team has to rebuild. Unless you're in a championship run like the Patriots have been for forever. You need to rebuild, bring in new guys, find new stars. And that's where the Jets are at. So that's somewhat exciting. I have no expectations for this season beyond the fact that they will win more than one football game. I would be shocked if they were that unwatchable. Otherwise, I'm excited. The NFL is kicking off in a week and a half. We did a song about it on Pillow Talk TV. NFL kickoff. Go watch it. It's funny as hell. And I'm going to be drafting my fantasy team next Monday. So next Tuesday, perhaps we will talk some fantasy football. Perhaps we will talk some NFL kickoff. Definitely we'll talk some NFL Week 1 because I'm live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. And NFL Week 1 will be on the horizon. And then the following week, we will actually have real live games to discuss and a Week 2 slate to discuss. Wow, the season's here. No more preseason football, boring. Please no more injuries. We want these players to be playing. That's what makes this game fun. I'm Dan Salem. I'm live on YouTube, BuzzChomp channel. On Facebook, at The Dan Salem. Every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Whew, baby. Enjoy the rest of the baseball as we're heading towards the playoffs. Enjoy the NFL because the NFL is back. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your night. That would be a peace.